Hello there and welcome to Old Man Gaming and Kerbal's space program Realism Overhaul. Now if you've been following my live streams you'll know that I am new to the Realism Overhaul mod and I'm learning as I go. Now the purpose of this series is to take what I have learned and to do short tutorials on how to complete the various missions found in the Realism Overhaul mod. I hope you find them instructive. Please feel free to join me in my live streams and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Alright, okay, here we are back in Kerbal's space program for our next mission. In this video we're going to actually do two missions because the first one, the Karman line, we have actually already completed it, but in the first video we didn't get the opportunity to actually accept it though. So if we just click on Karman line here and click accept, we'll just have a quick look at it. Basically we've got to reach 100 kilometers. We've already done that. We did it with our first rocket, so this is how quickly it's going to be. So we'll accept that. We'll come out of here. We'll go into the VAB. Okay, once we're in the VAB, let's open up our rocket, which we used in the previous video. Load that up. And we'll just make one slight adjustment since we don't really need to go that high. So we'll just get one of the tiny boosters. We'll have one tiny booster on here instead, and we'll take the move tool and move on down. Okay. Just check our staging. And we can just go to launch. We know it works. Show hide build list. Should be in there now. It is. We'll come out of here. We don't want to save it, so just don't save. Right, next we just walk to completion of the SR1. We go to our vessels and want to roll out. Okay, go to launch. Okay, so here we are at the launch pad. Just make sure our staging is correct again. Turn on our science. Just clear all of our contracts here. So we got that cleared up. Throttle up and launch. And as long as we pass the 100 kilometer mark, we'll successfully complete this mission. We'll speed it up. Go. And now we actually hitting an altitude of 144, so we're doing quite well there. We can have a look at our science is running away quite nicely, getting all those necessary science parts. We'll speed it up. If you're unsure on how to build this rocket that we've just used, if you just watch my first video in this series, we do go through the construction of that very rocket, and you can follow along by watching that you can follow along by watching that video. So we'll return back to the Space Center. We have some debris here that we can recover. We have 60,000, so we can do another upgrade or two. So purchase 2 upgrades, put 1 in the VAB, 1 in the research and development. You may have different points than I do. Research and development, we've got 6 points to spend. Not enough there to do the next stage. We need 7 points, and we don't want to put it into supersonic flight just yet, so we won't cover that. Now we go to mission control. We have another mission here, which is reach a suborbital trajectory and return. Now this basically means that it wants us to go 140 kilometers. Here we go. So as early as 1947, the US was launching into and recovering fruit flies from space on suborbital trajectories, but it wasn't until 1951 that a monkey named Yorick and 11 mice were successfully covered from an aerobie flight. The Soviets preferred dogs and returned many from suborbital flights, the first 2 being Dezik and Zygan in 1951 on top of an R-1. Although it is not a requirement to launch a biological capsule for this mission, it is a perfect opportunity to do so. Send a rocket out of the atmosphere, 140 kilometers, and return at least some of the craft back to Earth intact for study. So we'll accept that. And once again, actually before we jump into the VAB, to complete this is something I've learned that I didn't realize in my live stream, which is why it was so difficult in my live stream. But what we really want here is to attempt this once we've completed post-war rocketry testing and post-war materials science. So it would be a lot easier if you complete both of those first. It should take us to around September 1951. And then we just go into our VAB once those are finished. All right. Open up again your SR1, but we will be modifying it. All right. So just separate these, take it away. Get rid of the whack corporal, and we want to use the aerobie sounding rocket telemetry unit. We'll just move that down to roughly there. Okay. Now put our other rocket on top here. Actually, don't do that. Right. What we want to add is a parachute, because we need to recover. So if you have got up to the same stage as me with your research and development, you should have the aerobie RM8290 recovery parachute pack. So we'll put that one underneath. What it will do is it deploys a drogue chute initially at 5,000 meters, and then when it hits 1,000 meters, it will deploy the main chute, and it will come gently resting down to the ground. It has a decoupler built in, so we can just put our rocket underneath, And on top of that, science-wise, we want to add the biological sample capsule. It says we didn't have to do it if we wish, but we may as well. So we put our rocket back together. Now then, starting with the engine. If we right click at the engine, now this is what I didn't realize when I did my live stream, which is what made this so difficult. If we click on the engine, we actually have an upgrade available, which I did not know. We can now upgrade that engine for 1000. And if we look at the burn time, we've got a rated burn time of now 40 seconds. And what we can do is then click on the tank. We want to change the tank type. This is why we waited for materials to update. We can change it to aluminium high pressure and make the top 400 meters, and the same with the other tank. We make it 400 meters on the bottom and we change it to aluminium. We can put our fuel in by clicking the fuel button here underneath. That loads all the fuel in. If we look at our staging, well, let's correct our staging first. So we've got a 32-second stage there. Everything else should be fine. We can get this up to 47 seconds because remember we burn time plus 7 seconds, so we can take this up to 47. So if I do that by just adjusting the lengths on the tanks until you find it as close to 47 as possible. Actually, let's go back down. I forgot something. I didn't think we had to get adjusted, so just take it back to 1500. We need to right click on this and enable crossfeed. Okay, if we don't enable crossfeed, then the fuel at the top won't flow down, so that's something to remember. So enable crossfeed, and you see now that it's actually 50 seconds, so we can actually shorten this. 47.9 and 46.7, that'll do. So we can actually shorten this. So we'll change its name to SR2, and you may want to slightly increase the size and the strength. So make 0.25, but also the strength, the size. So click J and just maybe make this slightly bigger. So increase the length. I found increasing the length to 350. Increasing the width route to 200. Width tip to I don't think we can get it up to 100. No. So probably leave the width tip at 50. Increase the offset slightly. And I'm going to increase thickness to 0.65 on there. And then we want to actually don't move it because it always pulls it away, so we want to just reposition it Make sure we got 4 turned on. Okay. All right. We also want to re-add our science. So go to science. Where's science? There it is. Yep, science. We want to add our barometer. No, we don't need 4. Just the 1 will be fine. Add the barometer. And move it in. And then add the thermometer. And move it in. Okay. It's safe. Okay, so this should take us above 140. We'll have both boosters on. So launch. Just unlock the 3 parts. Add it to the plan list, just so it's there for future reference, because we'll probably be reusing this rocket a little bit. Alright, leave. Oh, we forgot to tool. My bad, we forgot to tool. Let's go back into vertical assembly. Yeah, let's make sure we tool all. Purchase all toolings. Just cancel that. There we go, 58 days. Now we can leave. We have to retool because of the diameter change. We went from 300 to 400. Okay, so warp to complete. We want to roll it out. And we'll warp to next morning. And we'll just speed it up till midday, or just 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we've got daylight. Apparently this is universal time, so it's always going to be dark at 7 o'clock in the morning, because 2 o'clock in the afternoon in universal time is 9 o'clock in the morning at Cape Canaveral. Alright, so we go to launch. Okay, here we are back on the launch pad. Just double check your staging. Make sure it's correct. Obviously you might want to have tested this in sim first. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Make sure you get all your science up and running. Throttle up and launch. And we should reach 140 kilometers, no problems. Bring up the contract window so we can just follow along with it. So we need to reach space, which is 140. And there we go. We've reached 140. So all we have to do now is just return home safely. So what you can do at this stage is now just decouple the tank by going into the parachute stage. Once we've gotten past the apoapsis, and are coming back down towards Earth, we can then arm the parachute. If we had waited until after we reached the apoapsis before decoupling, we would avoid this next step. Well, we're on the way down, so we can arm this, just arm the parachute. We'll speed it up. And what should happen is the parachute should deploy at 5,000 and then open up at 1,000. We'll slow it down to normal time. We don't need the whole rocket to be returned safely. We just need really only one part to come back to the ground. And all the time we're in science as well. There we go, parachutes deployed. Slowing us down further. Opens up and starts floating down. And that should be it. That should be a successful mission. And it took me nearly over 4 hours in the live stream to do that mission, and it took me that long simply because I didn't realize about the upgrade to the engine and the aluminium tank upgrades. So I wasted a lot of time, but that is the easiest way I think that I've discovered anyway. I'm sure there are better ways out there to get above 140 with the required parameters to complete the reach a suborbital trajectory and return. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and you can always subscribe, and if you see me live streaming, don't be afraid to jump in and say hi. Until then, have a good one, and bye for now. Bye bye.